Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you are really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at energysavers.gov.
What's up, CT? This is Charles Dukes Jr. from C. Dukes Entertainment. I gotta tell you, what's up in CT is people staying together. And I have Andy and Gerline. They've been married for 49 years. Wow, 49 years. That's really, really great. Can you tell me exactly, what is it that really keeps you together?
Well, I think that communication and knowing each other and get to know each other in a special way. And as you communicate with each other, you can iron out your difficulties and your problems that you may have in your life. There's marriage that have went sour because one just sit by and let the other one do what they want to do and not come up to them and confront them about the matters and certain things like that. And that's one reason why marriage goes sour. But the main thing is communication with each other and getting to know each other. You get to know what she like, what she don't like. It could be a small thing, a small matter, but if that bothers you enough, you need to talk to her about it. And then as you talk to her, then you will find out that we can make this thing work. Because when you get further and further apart, you get cold against each other.
Right.
And as you get cold, the thrill might be gone along with the cold. But you want to keep the thrill alive and keep everything alive that helps this marriage to work.
Right.
And besides, there's many marriages. Most people never ask God or pray to God about the person that they want to marry.
Right.
When you confront God, you see, you have to know the person, but what God do, God ordain a marriage.
Yes.
Even if it wasn't right, the first part when you decide to get married, as you pray about it and you're really good and you get advice from people who've been married and stuff like that, then when you get the advice from them, you got something else to go along and you got maybe some agreement. And you start remembering those things, and then when you you say, the best thing for me to do is to communicate with my wife and find out, what's up with her. And give her an opportunity to express herself to you and tell you what she like and what she don't like. Because you may be the fault too. You may not be doing the things that you would like to do, and then you may be doing something that annoy her, and then she don't say nothing about it.
Well, that's probably what happens in marriages, is that people just don't communicate with each other. And also too, to have God and have that faith with each other. And Gerline, what do you think of what he's saying about that? I mean, we got to get a woman's point of view as well too.
Yeah, well, I think what he's saying is it's the truth. That communication you must have, and with God, you will have compassion and love. You got to have the compassion for each other, because we're not going to do everything right, and we're not going to have all good days in a marriage. You're going to have good and you're going to have bad, But you'll hope and pray that the good outweighs the bad.
Right. So what you're saying is even though you have got some honey, you got some honey, right? You talk about bees and honey, okay? The birds and the bees. But what you're saying is that you don't go to bed mad.
No.
So 49 years ago, now were you as faithful to God as you are now, or this is something that grown together? So when you met, I guess you met through a friend. Or how'd you meet? Tell us how you met.
We knew each other when we were just kids, We went to the same church. Different school. but we lived in different counties.
So you always had that faith?
Yeah, well, yeah, we raised up with that faith, you know, of that. And as we got older, we by studying the Word of God, we learned that God ordained certain marriage.
Right.
And if you gotta seek Him, and then if you don't seek Him sometime, you just happen you had enough wisdom in you to pick the right one, and then you learn afterwards. You learn afterwards, and your marriage worked. You know, it was working pretty good and all the time. Right. But when you get to know God, when we got born again, she got saved 3 weeks before I did. 3 weeks before I did, and then the Lord saved me. And when she got saved and walked across the room, she told me she got saved. And when she said that, something happened to me. Really? It wasn't the same anymore.
It wasn't the same.
And I was troubled about this thing.
Right.
And I was praying and wanted to get saved. I always had a desire to be saved.
To be saved.
But when I got saved, I got into the Word of God and learned what the Word have to say about the whole matter. And then my eyes was open, being born again and a new creature in Christ Jesus. That makes me feel good. And today, I feel good about everything then. I started loving even more. Even more.
Well, one thing we learned...
Wasn't perfect. Wasn't perfect, but it was better.
It was better. Oh, okay.
Well, it had Christ in me, and the love in me of Christ in me. And that made me shut up and show love even more.
So what you're saying is actually... you got to have the faith. You got to believe in God. Let Him guide you. But also to the communication level. Let's say, for instance, now, you know, you don't agree with something that she says. How do you go about that? I mean, you know, sometimes, you know, you're a man and a woman wants you to do something and you're, you know, so, you know what I mean? So how do you, you know, front something like that? You know what I mean? Something that you really opposed to, you just don't want to do it, but yet and still, I mean, how do you do it? I mean, because there's a lot of relationships out there, and as soon as a little problem becomes a big problem, and then, you know, and then they're splitting up or going here, and that's why our divorce society here is just like 80% so high. There's no one staying married today. So what I said is, what do you do in a situation like that?
Well, in a situation that you have to respect one another's opinion, and one another whatever they believe and what they think is right. But you have to work on that and say, be humble. You know, a marriage is sometime 75, be 25. 60-40. You know, you gotta be flexible. You gotta, if you wanted to work and you know that y'all is for each other, and then that, you gotta work on, because the devil will not allow you to have any peace in your home and in your life and in your marriage.
That is so true.
That is so true. Money is one thing that can cause a division in a marriage.
Money, that starts,
and stuff like that. But you have to be together and trust one another and love one another and respect one another. And you do these things, the rest, you know, don't think you ain't gonna have no trouble, no problem, or disagreement. You're gonna have that, you know, and you just have, you know, it's not work that way for everybody. But if you have Christ in your life, then you see things a lot different from when you don't have it.
So that you know, with the Christ and having Jesus, therefore you learn how to respect more. So you did say respect. You got to learn how to respect each other's opinion. So I think that even though, so you're saying even though you agree and you disagree, but yet and still you respect what she says, and therefore you try to work with that.
I can say
compromise.
You can be you can disagree, but not disagreeable. Don't be disagreeable, because when you get disagreeable, then now you hold a little grudge. You hold, you know, something against that. You know, and then you don't want to do that. But if I can disagree with you, you got to respect my opinion and my disagreement, and then help me to see things in another way.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, so
help me to see, because at that particular time,
yes,
who knows, it might be my ego, you know, causing me to disagree or something.
Well,
like
that's what a lot of men, you know, we do have our egos, but then again, you know, our women do too. You know what I mean? So so and it's like, you know, I'm going to win this battle, or you know, I'm going to win this. He ain't going to do this to me, or you know what I mean? And that's what happens in some relationships, because some wives and girlfriends, they go for the tit for tat thing, and what about gossip? You know, people are always talking. What do you got to say about that? You know, did that ever come into your marriage or hurt your marriage? Because in a lot of marriages, you always have people, and I got to tell you, you know, I believe in God. I have a lot of faith, but that devil's always knocking on the door. That devil's always knocking on. See that the bees are coming for the honey. The bees are coming for the honey. But that devil's always, you know, knocking on the door. You know, so what do you do with the gossip? And I'm sorry, guys, we're fighting the bees and everything.
Well, you can't ignore the gossip, but what you have to do is, as I say, if you got that love and trust with one another, that's people will do many things to break up a marriage, you know, and it may be the wrong reason. Yeah, they may be jealous of you and your success, and if they see you someplace and they feel like you ain't had no business there, then they're not gossiping all around. Pretty soon somebody will find a way to get it to your wife, or get it to the husband, and things like that. And then you shouldn't judge about these things because you don't know all the facts. Only God knows all the facts. He can judge because he knows all the facts. He knows the right side, he knows the left side. He knows the good, he knows the positive, he knows the negative. So, you know, these things that God knows, you can trust God. And everything's going to be all right.
And that's because where God that faith comes in with the marriage. So what you're saying is, so you have the faith and you believe in God. So she knows that whatever the devil is talking about, she knows that it ain't true. That's why she can actually just sit down and talk with you about that, and then you can get that done.
And another thing with the gossip, though, how you stop that is don't listen. You see, you don't have an ear for it. And if I don't have an ear for it, you won't bring it to me.
Okay. So therefore, you stop the gossip before it even starts. So 49 years being married. I mean, you know, I understand that you're going to be happy, you're going to be sad, and the gossip. So as soon as the gossip comes, do you both talk about it, or do you just cut it off? I mean, you don't just let it linger, or
no, you talk about it.
You talk about it.
You talk about it.
So you stop it right there. So that's one of the things that's keeping you married. So okay, so you got the faith, you'll have the communications. What else is it that kept you guys married for 49 years? 49 years is a long time.
You know, like I could say, we was born again at least 22, 23 years.
23 years ago.
So that kept it even, like I say, even better. Because that is at a time that if you continue on doing the world's way, then it might be get to a point that you will want a divorce. You know, or you let the devil get into your mind and you think foolish, and think you go and look for something better. As they say, don't push one another out into the streets by not doing the things that you're supposed to do. Sometimes you push by the street by cutting them off in a lot of ways, and not trying to be a wife or be a husband to each other. That's your first duty, your first priority. God's purpose was for man to get married and have a wife. Not good for man to be alone. You know, and that's what marriage was made for. It was God ordaining for people to be together, and that's what it's supposed to be. But see, there's some people that when they talk about Moses, and Moses like get a divorce and that's for the hardness of the heart, you know, and things like that. So you need to make this marriage work. Either go to God and pray to God, to ask God to help you through these difficult times. Because ours can get close.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And you know,
blind to the fact.
Exactly. And you know, and another thing, by the you're saying that go to God and get and see. But see, sometimes too that, you know, maybe in some, you know, like you said, nothing's perfect.
Yeah,
you know,
perfect.
And some marriages, you know, shouldn't be married.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know,
That's it.
and therefore sometimes God can probably try to show us a different avenue
Yes.
to go.
Right.
But I guess that if you do it the right way, you know, have the faith, believe in God, I think that will carry you along the way.
Oh, yeah.
So therefore, as you do that, you'll have the respect for each other, the communication with
Yes.
each other,
Yeah.
and I guess that's pretty much what we're missing today.
Yeah.
You know, is that respect for one another, and also the faith.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you both for coming and spending the time and sharing it with us here at What's Up CT. And I got to tell you, I am so proud of you, Andy, and your lovely wife. 49 years. That's you know, I commend you both.
Yes.
You know, and like I said, I know it's not easy for anyone, but you know, right over here, you got to listen to these folks because you know it is tough out there, but staying together, going through the hard times is what's going. And speaking of hard times, is back in the day, it was really rougher than it is now.
Yes.
You know,
Oh, yes.
So you know, people think they got it bad now, but tell us how bad it was back then. Can you recall some of the recessions back then? Those were recessions.
A lot of time there wasn't enough money to go around.
Right.
But you made that little bit that you had do. You didn't get all the things that you would like to have and like to get. As time went by, it got better.
It got better.
You stop making more money, and you know, when you stop making more money, it brings a little more happiness in the family. Like I say, people have separated because of money.
Right.
But you see, the whole thing of it is, like I said to you before on one-on-one, I said, she knew what she wanted in a man, and I knew what I wanted in a woman. And that was way before we got married. We were just courting, you know. And then we talked about it, you know, not knowing that we were going to be getting married, but we talked about what we want and what we want, you know. And these things come up. Well, I will not say what.
But some things come up.
You know. So we had that understanding.
Oh yeah, okay.
And that was agreeable.
There you go.
With both of us.
Absolutely. Well,
it was agreeable.
And there's that communication part. You know what I mean?
Yes. Oh yes.
Wow. Well, you know, I gotta say though, being married for 49 years, I mean, what do you do for other, you know, you go to church, you have your faith, you know, what do you do to keep it going though? I mean, I guess it doesn't feel like a job anymore.
Yeah, well, it's
it's work, but it doesn't feel like a job anymore.
Well, you know, everything else is behind us now. So now it's a little more easy.
It's a little more easy, a little more relaxing.
We don't have the kids in the way. We don't have, you know, those kind of things. So it's all come to an end and to a close, you know.
Right.
So it just me and her and well, you know, our family, you know, we still, you know, got you know, kids and grandkids, anything like that. But we're in better shape to meet certain needs and what they years ago, anything like that. And so we have overcome. You know, that's what I'm doing. We have overcome up to this far. You know, and we're trusting in the Lord.
Absolutely.
When you trust in the Lord, you don't have to make a mistake.
Oh no,
You choose because because He allows you to choose. Have free will to do whatever you want to do. But we don't have to worry about that, you know. We still gonna have that free will. And He will never interfere with your free will. He gave you free will from the beginning.
Right. So it's totally up to you to make that decision.
If a man sin, he sinned because he chooses to sin.
Right.
He does have a right.
Right. Yeah, he does.
He does have the choice.
Well,
you know.
He's the one that has to pay. When
he has to pay.
Comes. But as you were singing, I'm sure we shall overcome. Whatever you have, you know. 49 years later, you know. But well, you know, that's great, Andy, and I got to tell you, you know, you're a great man, and you know, you did well. You did well. So, you know, when I grow up, I want to be as handsome and wonderful as you are, and a lovely wife like you have.
Well, I think that ought to be all men's desire. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All right. Well, what can you tell CT before we go? What can you tell CT gives them a words of wisdom from a man? Mm-hmm. Well, actually,
they said, "He that walketh with the wise shall be wise, and companion of fools shall be destroyed."
I like that. I like that.
That's from Proverbs 13 and 20.
All right. Now let's hear that from a woman perspective. Now, what can you tell these young ladies now in CT, you know, right in Connecticut here, that would help them in their relationships?
Keep trusting in the Lord and lean not into your own understanding.
All right. Keep trusting the Lord and lean not into your own understanding.
And always acknowledge Him.
And always acknowledge Him. Oh, wow. This has been great. I got to tell you, what a great couple, and I wish them another 49 more years. I'm Charles Dukes Jr. from C. Dukes Entertainment. What's up, CT?
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right.
I look up to a lot of the older heads, you know, the innovators, the heads of the art movements of the past. They kept it really edgy, and like a lot of the Latin American muralists and Latin American artists, and their styles were very unique and new to their time. You know, somewhat controversial, but that's who I look up to mainly. Personally, I'm very excited about going to college. It's something new and it's something different than what I'm used to. I'm definitely going to be a little out of my element, but that's what makes it so exciting, is that, you know, it's something fresh. Well, there's so many opportunities that I think I could miss out on if I didn't go, you know? Getting into college takes planning and vision. You know, it's just like when I take a brick wall and turn it into a canvas for my art. Paintings help me realize that I've got what it takes.
What's